Bring
Okay.
it on.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with one more description of festivals. Okay, Mysteryland.
Israel, oh, I love that. I learned photography there. It's
Tomorrowland.
my birth ground.
Tomorrowland.
Amazing. It's overwhelming, and it's where I learned to learn photography really, really well because it was tough and it's so big. And we used to do it with two guys in the beginning, and it's just too much. But God, I love that place, man.
Ultra.
I like Ultra so much. You know, Ultra is very simple. You know, it's a stage with LED lights, but people just show up for their lineup, and they don't show up for the experience and the whole. They don't show up there for what Tomorrowland offers. They want to hear. They want to be lost in music, and it attracts a crowd that I love. You know, there's so much energy there. So yeah, I'm in love with it. Sorry, love this Tomorrowland, but they're so different.
DEFCON. DEFCON.
DEFCON, oh, that's brilliant, man. That end show. If you're going to see an end show, I think it's on par with Tomorrowland, and it's hard to say it's even better. It's different, and it's just so much raw energy. Just look, it's amazing. I wish I quit working for them, but I miss it. I do miss it, to be honest.
How? Sensation.
Sensation. Oh, that's so. It's kind of cool because I'm talking to the guy who used to be the director of Sensation, and I never understood why Sensation didn't go global massively because the concept is so cool, and it just was so hard outside of Holland. I just don't know why it didn't work because it was just brilliant, and they were so ahead of their time. I mean, you cannot imagine. We're talking 2000, and they were putting up productions that even rivaled today's productions. And the funny thing is, if you see the first Sensation, they had the Shiva, right, which is the god of war, and they wanted to have the god of love, but they picked the wrong one. But they didn't realize it.
So, do they know yet, or they don't?
Yeah, no, they know and they love it. They love it, you know. It's kind of funny because it's also cool, you know, because it also gives you, that little edgy thing that, you know. But they were, I think they were the first to realize how big scale events could work, you know. And they laid the ground for Tiesto doing his Tiesto and concerts, and then nobody knows. The younger generation doesn't know about Sensation, but they still are an influence of today's shows because they absolutely laid the groundwork. They were revolutionary. I can honestly say that. I'm being very proud to be a part of their legacy, their history for a long time. I really am proud. They were amazing.
Hard bass.
I love it. People don't understand. I had this discussion. Either you love this whole hardcore and hard style. I started out with the Gabber, you know, which is the predecessor to hardstyle and hardcore.
Okay.
So it's always been in my blood. And when I started this job in 96, 95, I wasn't into that kind of music, but I've grown up with it and I learned so much. So it's still in my heart. And they say hardcore is for life, and it is true. So whenever I do work for them, hard bass or Decibel Outdoor, it just makes me happy.
Which outdoor?
Oh, I love the Mexico show. I
Oh.
was so bummed out when they had to cancel. It's like family. When you start working for them, they really want to like you. And they are one of a kind. They come from a part of Holland that has a lot of warmth in personal relationships. And once you work for them, you work for them. You know, they'll loyal as to extremes, which makes it so cool. The funny thing is that the Dutch edition, where they have it, the crowd is always very subdued. It's like completely the opposite of India, and it's so tough. And they respond to certain kind of music. It's got to be very uplifting, and then you see the crowd coming up. But most of the time, it's just people having drinks and talking and just having a great time. They love it. And there's smaller areas that are going off, but the main stage is always a little bit more quiet. But they have these amazing main stages. They're very small festival, and the productions they have, I think they start building like weeks in advance because they have that area they can take all the time they want. I love it. And the Mexico Festival, it was one of the highlights of my year because then afterwards the summer really starts in full gear. It's always in May, and Mexico's crazy. I love Mexico. People throwing each other up in the air. It's just mad, and the people are so incredibly friendly. I really was bummed out it wasn't going there. That was one of the worst ones this year. Of oh, that's not going to happen. That sucks. It really
Oh,
does.
shit.
Next year we'll be there.
Since I'm from India, let's talk about Sunburn.
It was my first time in India, and I was blown away. I mean, that place they have on the beach, it is pure magic. It was very dusty this year, though. It was never that. I think it was a very dry period before it. But that is one of my favorite venues in the world. That is like, for me, I think like Tomorrow World in Atlanta. And then I had a gig in Jordan. And then I think that beach is just, I just love that place. There's so much magic in the air. And then because of all the dust, you get these amazing sunsets. This crazy glow. And the people are mad.
People are mad.
That is just, India is just, that is like crazy. People party so hard. I've done, man, with Martin Garrix, it just gets almost scary. There's just so many people, and there's just, but the energy, you feel it, you know, it's, I don't know. I feel like royalty when I'm walking around there. Saying hi and just coming up to me.
Yeah, a lot of people know you. A lot of people
cool,
know
man.
you.
It is really, I'm just a house dad from Rotterdam, you know. I'm a dad. I have 2 kids, and during the week I live a normal life, and then I get to be, I don't know, very appreciated over there, which is cool, you know, which is really amazing. And it's something I never ever take for granted. Like really, I never do. I never take for granted where I am, whether it's in India, whether it's in Germany, or wherever I am. It's very special. It's very rewarding, and it's a beautiful festival. That one and VH1 Supersonic, they have that festival vibe that I really love. And I've done so many gigs in India, and I love the crowd everywhere. But I love, as I said it before 5 times. I love festivals, you know?
Yes.
My first experience was really, really bad. We were really trying hard not to get screwed over by taxi drivers. So this is before Uber.
It happens. So it happens.
Hour in India was a nightmare. And my friend who came with me said, I don't know if I really like this country. He was like, really? You were really in shock? And then 3 days later, we went back together. We were on the same flight. And he was just blown away by the country. He said, this has been a trip that I will never, ever forget. It was just so funny. Just like that first hour was just horror. And then 3 days later, we just had the best time ever, you know. And it's funny that he said that in the beginning. I don't really think I like this country, but he just didn't want to give it up yet, you know. He really wanted to give it a try. So